Look at me filming video. I'm totally out of practice. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I feel like that's so lame. Like everybody says, welcome back to my channel. What do I say though? Like, hey, hi. I'm gonna work on that. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Ashley Peters over at Coffee and Firsties. I've been around for quite some time. I haven't posted in a while because I've been on a maternity leave. So I decided to take maternity leave off of YouTube as well, because YouTube, I mean, I have two channels that I'm running. So this one and the Peters channel, which is like my personal channel, I guess. I post all of the stuff about Emma and my family, and Coffee and Firsties are obviously my adventures with first graders. And I took some time away from that because it took a lot of time out of my life that I just didn't have anymore. And Emma wasn't a super good sleeper, so I just decided to kind of just post when I could. I knew I wasn't gonna post on Coffee and Firsties for a while just because I wasn't in the classroom. On the Peters channel, I've been posting some videos, so if you're interested in seeing all of those, go check them out. So I'm excited to be jumping back on here and doing some teacher tags. I was asked to do these two tags, which thank you so much, ladies, for asking me to do these tags. It kind of helped me get back into the swing of things. Tags are kind of an easy type thing to film and edit. So thank you so much for, asking me, even though I haven't posted in a while. Thank you for inviting me in on a fun tag. So this one's actually very near and dear to my heart. Teaching with Positivity is a newer teacher tuber, and she reached out to me and asked if I would do this tag with her. I've always strived for balance on my channel, and balance has become this really weird word. Everybody looks at the word balance differently, and the way I wanted balance in the beginning was after my first year of teaching, and it was just so not balanced. Like, so not balanced. Like, I was drowning the entire year. And then the next year I was like, I'm gonna have this balance. Well, balance isn't real, it's not real, and I know that. But striving for balance, I feel like, is not a bad thing. And some people think that that is a bad thing, like you're never gonna reach it. But to me, like, I always just try and live a balanced lifestyle, even though I know I will never have one, if that makes sense. Like, I know that I'll never get to a balanced lifestyle, especially now being a mom, because everything is just kind of like it's like that game Operation where you're like getting the last bit of, the piece in, and you think you're doing good in life, and you're like, okay, I just need to do this one, and then it pops and everything falls. But that's motherhood. That's motherhood. And with mental wellness is very, very important with teachers, because we have very, very, very stressful jobs. This last year was so rough, guys. It was so rough. I had a very rough class, and I was pregnant, so that didn't help. I'm not gonna lie to you. I broke down after having Emma. It was about 2 months after having Emma, so a few months ago. I broke down and told Greg that I can't go back to work. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. Last year was so hard. I don't think I even taught anything. The behaviors were too rough. The, situations were too emotional. I, felt like I was being more of a parent rather than teacher every single day. And it was too much. It was too much for me. And I can't go back, because I can't come home every single day so emotional and just carrying all that baggage from, all of the stuff that happens at school, bringing it home and having that being rubbed off on Emma. No, I'm not gonna do it. And I totally flipped out. I had a meltdown. Woke up the next day feeling a little bit better. I actually went and visited my coworker and kind of told her some things that I was feeling, and she was saying, those are all normal feelings, and having anxiety about going back to work, and especially, with any job, but with teaching in general, it's really stressful. A little backstory on why I'm also deciding to do this tag, and I think that Teaching with Positivity has a really, really great opportunity for teachers to kind of dig deep and figure out what they need to do to protect their mental wellness, and to know that it's super, super important as teachers. Sorry that I kind of just like word vomited on you guys, but I haven't seen you in a while. So here are the questions for the teacher wellness tag. Number 1, what does physical wellness and mental health mean to you? So Physical it's been looking a lot different the past year. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I used to post a lot of videos of me going to the gym and all this fun stuff, but that's just, I got pregnant and it was, a lot of people go to the gym when they're pregnant, but I was so sick and so freaking tired. Physical wellness is important though. I wish that I would have worked out more when I was pregnant, but you know, you do what you can with what you have when you can. And it was better for me to nap at that point than to go out and stress my body out even more. Mentally though is very, very important to me. High blood pressure runs in my family, heart disease, and all of that stuff just fuels my fire of trying to better myself physically and mentally. Especially now that I've had Emma, I want to get my body back in shape just so I can keep up with her and be healthy, but I also want to keep my mental health in check. And it's funny, like today was a really rough day. They go through major leaps at 4 months, and you know, like major leaps like laughing, which she did for the first time today, and rolling, and you know, talking, like, you know, blah blah blah, talking, repeating things. All of that is like after 4 months, and it's a huge leap. So she's just so fussy right now, and I broke down today and I realized that I need time. So I texted Greg and I said, when you get home, I need a moment. And so that's why I'm able to upload these videos, which I haven't been able to do in a really long time. And I feel like knowing your limits like that is really, really important. So mental and physical, that was kind of a long answer. I'm really sorry, but they're super, super important, especially for teachers, because we go through so much. We hear so much, we see so much, we have to deal with so much. Super important for teachers to be really in tune with their body and know when they're stressed and realize when anxiety is creeping up, or realize when maybe you're feeling burnt out. I have a wonderful principal, by the way. She's big in conscious discipline, and conscious discipline is also something that I was really into last year. I mean, I'm still into it, but whenever I was in the classroom last year, our school is really big into this conscious discipline behavior system type thing. It's kind of a behavior management system, but it's really like knowing yourself, seeing your internal like gauge and realizing where you are so you can react or be proactive with certain kids and different particular experiences and interactions and parents and all this stuff. And it's realizing that you need to be mentally healthy as a teacher so you can be the best teacher that you can be. Okay, number one is really long, and I promise I won't make them that long again. Number two, why do you think it is so important as educators and as people that we keep our own self-health in check? Well, I kind of covered that, but just to kind of stem off of that, I think that it's important because as teachers, you get engrossed into your job. You get totally just like in the moment. You can take it home, and you know, this stress can just weigh on you because you know that these kids are going through a lot, or you know, maybe your administration is demanding a lot out of you. Sorry, I just kicked my camera. Just get really, really wrapped up in your job as teachers because we care so much about what we do, and we're constantly changing. We're constantly trying to better ourselves as teachers, and we're constantly trying to be the best counselors, nurse, mom. You know, we're always trying to better ourselves in the classroom. And sometimes you don't know that you've gone maybe too far, and it's really, really hard because you want to be the best that you can be, but you also want to take care of yourself so you can be the best that you can be. It's just this terrible cycle. I used to stay at school my first year of teaching, which I feel like all first year teachers go through this, but I used to stay at school. I used to get to school 2 hours before the kids got there and stay like 3 to 4 hours after they left. That's a long day. And no, we're not getting paid for that. Like overtime is not a thing with teachers. And I realized very quickly that you always have something to do. There's always something to grade. There's always an email to be sent. There's always a person to call back. There's always something to fix in your classroom. And I was trying to stay to complete my to-do list. So any first year teachers out there, just hear me out. You're always going to have stuff to do. Like there's never a time where I'm like, I've finished everything. I think realizing where you are as a teacher mentally is super, super important. 3, name some of your favorite ways of staying physically active during the summer. So before baby, I loved to go to the gym. I did. I loved to go and work out. I loved to lift weights and do cardio, do spin classes, Pilates classes. I actually miss those classes so much. Now with baby, I am just trying to figure out what my workout routine looks like and what I can do right now. And I know that it'll get better with her attention span. Like right now, I probably have about a good 20-25 minutes where she can be preoccupied on something that's not me. So I can either, you know, do tummy time with her and interact with her that way and kind of work out, or I can stick her in front of the TV. Let's be honest, I don't do it all day long, don't worry. But that's how much time I normally have with her. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do in those times. I'm so not a video person. I've tried T25. I loved doing the videos. It busted my tushy, but I just can't stick with it. I just can't stick with the videos. And I wish that I did, because Beachbody would just be like the best thing ever for me right now, but I don't stick with it. So right now we bought a Body Boss. That's what it's called. It's like this little, I'll put a picture up, but it's like this little like system where it's like this thing and it has all of these different like hooks, and you can hook, I don't know, you're able to do all sorts of stuff with bands, and I really like it so far. It's done great. Number 4, do you work out during the summer? And if so, what does your routine consist of? If you don't, what would you like to start doing to keep yourself physically active? So right now, obviously I don't have a routine. I'm just kind of doing what I can with whatever window of time Emma lets me have. Right now I'm just doing the Body Boss, and we try and go for walks a few times a week. I wish we went every day, but it's freaking hot in Indiana. Number 5, do you believe that it's important that we all take a mental health day as educators every now and then throughout the school? Why or why not? I will beat this into a dead horse. That is the worst saying ever. But nevertheless, teachers need to take mental health days. Like, obviously don't abuse them. Don't take one once a week or once a month even. But you know when you have hit your limit, and sometimes it's even beyond that. Like you get to like this, I'm about to blow, and we come back to work the next day, and that's when you start resenting your job. I've definitely hated walking into my school before, and it's nothing that the kids did, nothing that the parents did, nothing that my coworkers have done. It's just me being completely and utterly done, burnt out. And my principal posted something the other day about teacher burnout and how it's so important that you realize where you are mentally as a teacher, or else burnout will happen, and that there is ways to figure out how burnout doesn't happen. And it's so hard nowadays, I feel like, as teachers, because we are demanded from our administration to do all of these standard based things, which, don't get me wrong, standards are great, but we're demanded to do all of these different reading programs and math programs, and there's not a whole lot of creativity that we can do. But we also want to have fun with the kids, and so we have like this weird balance of making these fun lesson plans and doing them, or not being able to get to them, or doing so many tests, or teaching too much to the test, and dealing with different behaviors. And it's just like there's so much going on. Sometimes you forget where you are as a teacher until you have a mental breakdown. At least that's what I go through. I just hold it all in until the end of the day, and then just have a complete and utter meltdown. And that's when I realize I'm in burnout and I need to do something about it. And taking a mental health day, I think, is really important. So I've probably taken, I only started taking them the last few years, and I plan them out for sure. Like, it's not something where I call in the next day. You know, I feel like, again, to each their own if you want to do something like that, but I like to plan it out in advance. So I know now like what time of the year gets to be kind of stressful. So I'll plan like a Monday off or a Friday off, and so I can have a short week. And the first few times I took it, I literally sat at home and fiddled my thumbs and thought about being in the classroom all day long. And then now that I've done it, I kind of use those days, honestly, I kind of use those days to catch up on teaching stuff, like stuff that I love doing, but I don't have time for, because when I come home, I don't do anything teaching related anymore. I've stopped that a long time ago. That's something that helps keep my mental health in check. So sometimes on those days, I just like to come home and like do a teachers pay teachers thing, or make a product, or make some lesson plans for, it sounds so sad, but that's what I'm willing to do with some of my days. And I probably do them once or twice a year at the max. Like I don't do any more than that, but I think they're super important. You guys know yourself. You know your mental state, you know your classroom, you know your kids, you know your school, your administrators and how they handle that. But my administration, obviously they would love for me to be in the classroom, but they also really, really care about our well-being. Number 6, name some things that you do to help you relieve stress and unwind during the summer. Same thing that I do during the summer is the same thing that I do during the school year. I love to take baths. It's my thing. I love to light a candle, pour myself a glass of wine, get in the bathtub. I love to listen to hypnosis tracks and meditation tracks. Like, don't knock it till you try it, guys. The first few times I did it, I felt like this is kind of hippie, but now it knocks me out, guys. It knocks me out and it puts me in like this, not like a nap knocked me out, but like it hypnotizes me, and you wake up feeling so good. You wake up feeling so good. So I highly recommend meditating or trying some hypnosis. I'll try, if I can remember, I will link some of my favorite YouTube videos down below, or favorite YouTube channels down below that do all of that stuff. But Headspace is a good one as well. If you're kind of new to meditation, check out the app Headspace. Not sponsored. Nothing is sponsored on this video. That's what I do. Had an entire day to yourself this summer. Describe what you would do to help relax and unwind and focus on you. What does that feel like? I've had a few hours to myself. I feel like the longest I've gone is about 4 or 5 hours without, you know, Enna. But if I had a whole day to myself, oh my gosh, I'd probably get a massage, probably go get my nails done, and probably go to a vineyard. I love Indiana, we're big on wine. And maybe get together with my teacher friends. I don't know, maybe read a book. Ugh. If I could just spend hours reading a book, guys, that would just be like the best day ever. Number 8, any suggestions for our fellow teachers on what to do to help unwind this summer so we can start the year in a positive mindset and motivated to go back? So I think that it's important to get a good mental health routine down in the summertime so you can have it in the school time. I think it's important to still continue those routines in the school year, but I think any advice or suggestions that I might have is to find out what makes you happy. So I feel like there's different things, like reading makes me happy, but it also is really time consuming. If you find something that you can do that you can just kind of quickly gather yourself, and that's going to be the biggest help for you as a teacher. Something that I learned how to do, actually, I learned how to do this last year, getting ready for labor and delivery, is to, in 10 seconds, gather yourself. So I kind of do this thing where I count down, but I also breathe. And at the very end, I just say, relax, relax, relax. And that's just something that now I've done it so much that it's when I start counting down, I know that my body can just kind of relax on its own. And that was used for labor and delivery, but I am gonna take it as a teacher now because I know that I can calm my body down whenever I need to. Sometimes at my school, that might look like a bathroom trip. So I might, you know, we have an aide that we share with our first grade team. So if she's in another classroom, I might send a kid over and say, hey, Mrs. Peters needs to go to the bathroom, which, I mean, I always have to go to the bathroom, right? Teachers always have to go to the bathroom, but maybe you just say, like, I just need a second. Can you give me a second? I'm gonna go get a water or fill up my water or something. Like, I just need 10 seconds to get out of this classroom, this stressful environment for a second. And they're normally totally fine with it. My principal would do that for me. So just finding what makes you calm down quickly is something that I think is super important for teachers. And sometimes that's just like a quick coffee break. So if the kids are being crazy and you just need 10 seconds, go to your desk, sip on some coffee, realize that whatever you're doing is failing miserably, and start over again. Number 9, how do you mentally and physically prepare yourself during the summer for next school year? So mentally, I try and remember that there is life outside of school, and that it's going to be a culture shock going back into school. Like I give myself this pep talk every single year at the start of school, is that you're living in this lovely, darling little bubble of no classroom, which again, I love my job. I love the kids, guys, but you understand, like, teaching is stressful. So here I am with my normal life stresses, and then you got to add, like, boom, this huge classroom stress, teaching stress to your plate. And right now I feel like my pie, right, my mental pie is maxed out. Like 85% of my pie says Emma on it. I'm either breastfeeding, I'm either, you know, eating my, you know, changing her diaper, doing tummy time. Like most of my time is consisted with Emma, and a little bit of the stress is, you know, the house, and then of course Greg's in there somewhere, God love him. I've got to try and find my filled pie plate and shove teaching in there somewhere. A lot of the times I try and not worry about all of those things on my pie when I'm at school, and then when I get home I don't worry about the classroom stresses either, if that makes sense. So I almost feel like I have two different pies going on. Where did the pies come from? I don't even know. Trying to leave work at work, as hard as that is as a teacher, is one thing that I try and do, and that kind of helps me unwind at night. There's one thing that you could change about yourself mentally or physically to help make yourself a better you. What would it be, and how could you start obtaining it now? I'm a better me. I definitely want to work on my physical. You know, this is the heaviest that I've ever been. Of course, I just had a baby and my body has done wonderful things, but I definitely want to be at a better physical state for me and for Emma. So definitely trying to stick to a workout routine, whatever that workout routine looks like for me, because going to the gym is just not, it's not possible for our lifestyle anymore. And Greg doesn't go either. Like we both just don't go anymore. We canceled our memberships. So trying to figure out what that looks like now is going to be something that's super important to me. So I'm hoping that this Body Boss can work for us. I don't know how I'm going to do it during the school year. I don't know if it's something where I can get up early and do before Emma wakes up. She's just so... Sometimes she wakes up at 5, 6, and 7. So there's just, I don't know. That's it. So that is the mental wellness teacher tag. I think that this has been a great tag to participate in. Thank you, Teaching with Positivity, for including me on this conversation. You know as well as I do that it's just super important, and I've always tried to stress that on my channel, is to, one, be honest with yourself. Don't, you know, if you have a principal that comes around and asks you if you're okay, don't say yes if you're not. It's okay to say, no, I need a break. They're not going to think less of you, or a coworker or an aide or anybody, a parent helper. I do this. I'm guilty of this. I, you know, just get so engrossed into my lesson plans, and when things, because kids aren't perfect, classrooms aren't perfect, lesson plans aren't perfect. Like I don't think that I've ever had a full week that I could get in all of my planned lesson plans in. It's just not possible, at least for first grader, because it's like herding cats, let's be honest. Sometimes you just get so overwhelmed, and knowing when you're almost to that point, you need to step out of the classroom, you need to take a break, or do whatever you need to do to kind of get yourself back to that equilibrium, to where you can go in and continue, because the kids will respond better to you. They will see how you deal with stress. We do a lot of breaths in our classroom. I teach my kids about stress and anxiety all the time. I don't think it's something that we need to hide from our kids. I think we need to realize that they have it too, and we need to teach them the tools to deal with it for themselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you think that mental health is very, very important as a teacher. Please just give this video a thumbs up, and let me know how you de-stress as a teacher. It's different for everybody, and if we can get a great list going in the comments, it can be really helpful for a fresh newbie coming in that's getting a total culture shock on the stresses of teaching. So let us know down below how you unwind as a teacher. And if you want to participate in the tag, I feel like go right on ahead. It's super important for us to get the conversation rolling about mental health. And yeah. And other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.